Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
It's funny to reflect back on your favorite movies when you were growing up and seeing people that were, you know, those famous child Hollywood stars and the people that they become. When you say the name Macaulay Culkin, it immediately evokes memories for a lot of Gen Xers of like this young kid who was, you know, so cute in Home Alone. And what was that one movie that was the saddest? My Girl. Do you remember did you see My Girl that he did?
No.
Don't. It is the saddest movie that I have ever seen in my whole life. I was like, why would you make this movie? So, I mean, it's a great movie.
From the funniest to
right. Right. It's quite the spectrum. Macaulay Culkin, I saw him recently he was a presenter on the Golden Globe Awards, and he looked every bit of himself. I mean, yes, he looked at the grown-up version of himself. You know how people can look really different? This man looks like the boyish kid that we fell in love with.
Yeah.
Home Alone recently celebrated its 35th anniversary. Macaulay Culkin was only 10 years old when the movie came out. Now, it's fun for him, I'm sure. He gets to watch those movies with his own two young kids. This is Macaulay Culkin.
My son was asking questions. He wanted to see a family photo of like all my siblings. So I ran downstairs, I got it, and he immediately, his eyes darted to me, and he goes, "Hey, that kid looks like Kevin." And I go, "He sure does, doesn't he?" He's starting to put it together. I'm trying to keep up the illusion as long as possible, but you know, I know some kid at recess is going to ruin it, but you know, at the same time, I can watch that movie now. I can watch pretty much the body of my work now. It takes on a completely different meaning that I have kids. I get to show it to them and stuff like that, and I see the joy that it brings them and stuff. It's like, now it's different. The game has changed for me. Before it was a gig. Now it's something I can stand next to and be proud of and show my kids.
I think as for most actors go, they always look at their movies as what's going to be their legacy in life. But like so many, priorities changed when he had his own kids, as it does for anybody that has children. Let's talk about the adjustments that we might want to consider with our savings, with our retirement plan, when the focus moves from a personal goal to a legacy goal for kids and grandkids.
I mean, you got to be smart with it. My wife and I, we're big on a family meeting, a weekly family meeting. And it kind of clarifies goals and clarifies what their week's supposed to look like, and it leaves the unknown. Don't give kids unknown, because then it'll turn into Roblox or it'll turn into a bunch of kind of crap. You know, she's 12.
Yeah.
And I think that is going to be a big part. So if grandparents are listening out there, or even parents, a good thing, a weekly meeting. Hey, this is what's expected of you this week. This is expected of me. This is expected of mom, and however many kids, dad, whatever it may be. I think that's a big thing. And that was told to me a long time ago by a client. And I said, man, that is a great idea.
Yeah.
And so we started this when she was about 5, and she's 12 now. So that's 7 years. And I think if there's anything, if you have clarity, is going to be really important. From a saving standpoint, I think people need to think about it from this. You're starting that saving habit at an early age, and keep them involved. So if you're dealing with this grandkid, look, this is how much we put in this account for you, a $529 to say. That's a nice little tax break for you too. I think it's up to $16,000. Don't quote me on that. Take a look, ask. But you can put up to that amount for college, right?
Okay.
They can actually, on a 529 plan, if there's $35,000 or less left in it, or just 35,000 of the total, say it's 70s in there. 35 of it, if they're done with college, they can roll into a Roth IRA.
Oh, okay.
later on.
Yeah.
So there's just little things from that standpoint. But I think what's important to understand here is just get them in the habit. If there's anything as a grandparent you should do is get them in the habit of saving, show them that you're saving for them, but they don't get it anytime soon, but they can watch it grow and just get them kind of addicted to that. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Now it's this much. Now it's this much, and through the different stages and ages of life. Like my daughter's so different from 10 to 12, obviously. A little bit more of a smart aleck at 12 than she was at 10. You are everything to them, and now the friends are. I'm dealing with that transition, which is good and bad because you want them to become independent. That's part of independence. But she doesn't want to touch her managed money. She has a little bit of managed money that we put together for her over time so she can watch. And we own some things that she's familiar with. Not, some of them I probably wouldn't choose under normal circumstances, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But it just helps her I just want her associated with it early on.
Yeah.
Unlike the 20-year-old we just talked about in the last segment. Folks, 336-586-5861. I want to put that number out here right now because this is really big. If you really want to impact your grandchildren or children's life, depending on your age, I would start a family meeting, and I would start, whether that account's just $50 a month, and have it go into market money and just keep doing that. And if it's just savings in the beginning because it's $50, you don't want to start something that small and wait till it gets a little larger. That's okay. But it is a great idea. If you nothing better than a family meeting. It's no different. Kind of that's a little side of the family. You should run a little bit like a business is clarity on what's expected of you. And I think that will reduce some of the arguments and the stress, especially in stressful times when nothing goes right. And I think we all have had those times.
Yep.
I've dealt with them for sure. And dealing with a big old little issue right now, nothing to do with the family, just in general, that's like, oh my gosh, when is this thing going to dissolve and take care of itself?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're going to have those times, but if you really are kind of keeping your eye on the ball, if you will, keeping your eye on the trophy, and the trophy is a great family life, I think that's really critical. 336-586-5861. And get them thinking about retirement as a child. Because just to kind of give you some numbers, I have this client that started something for their grandkid who is now 15.
Yeah.
When he was 14, he had his first job where he's actually getting a check.
Okay.
And so they would, instead of putting it into a regular account, they were putting it into a Roth for him.
Wow.
Because he can contribute to a Roth as long as he's making money as well.
Okay.
So now he's 15. He's in the summers, he works 40 hours a week. And so that put them up to where they can almost max out. Now they actually can max out because of what he's doing. He's pretty IT smart for a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
And he's more than covers the $7,500. I'm sure he will this year. And they'll stick all that in a Roth for him. Because they're going to give it to him anyways. But they have control of that account, obviously, for the benefit of him. But it's for him. It is his. And what a great thing. And this has really brought this kid along. And it's given him something that long-term to work on. When you're a kid, long-term is, what am I going to do today? And you're taking that out of the equation. So 336-586-5861, 336-586-5861. Give us a call. I'd love to sit down with you if some of this interests you from a standpoint. My grandkids are important to me. My kids are important to me. I know that's a lot of you out there, I hope. It's a great way to both of you get involved. And it's something that never gets old. A lot of those things you like doing to your little girl, and now I'm not into that. Now I don't want to take a walk. They'll always be interested in this. So you can kind of keep something in there, You're not as important as their friends still. Get over it. I've gotten over it. But you're important still. They still come to you and ask, and they don't look at you as a resource. They look at you as more of a, that grandparent that you want to be, or that parent you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, folks here in the Piedmont Triad, the good salt of the earth type people that live all around the Piedmont Triad, Bryan, they want to do well by themselves and their families and their kids and their grandkids. And building a legacy plan is a great way, a very important way to do that, to keep the integrity of your savings. Bryan and his team here to help you in that process, understand what your options are. 336-586-5861 is the number you're dialing right now. Let's set a time on the calendar for you to meet with Bryan. Go through these things. 336-586-5861. Just a couple minutes left before we got to jump off the radio here today, Bryan. But real quickly, the idea of estate and legacy planning, I know might be something that some people tend to avoid. They don't want to talk about death and those kinds of things. But also, if you think about, if you don't have this plan in place, what it could mean for your kids and families, the fights that I know that you've probably firsthand seen over your career when somebody did not create an estate and legacy plan, and how the turmoil that can come of that without the proper planning.
You know, it's huge. It's big league, as they say. And the bottom line is, it's legacy planning just puts you at ease. And in the beginning, you got to start talking about some things you're uncomfortable with. But when it's done, you're like, I'm so glad they don't have to deal with that when something happens to me.
Yeah.
I'm glad hate to say it, my funeral is prearranged. They know exactly it's right here. It's in writing, what's supposed to happen. It's paid for. You know, right now, if you just retired, you know, you might, and hey, yeah, we want to be buried over here at Battleground in the big battlefield park or whatever it may be. Get it paid for, get all of it done so they don't have to deal with it. As morbid as it is, it doesn't last. You get over it, and you get over it with the feeling it gives you, knowing your kids don't have to deal with it or your grandkids don't have to deal with it. And I think that's a big part. So legacy planning is such a big part of your retirement. It's, you know, one of the best things you can learn is reverse engineering. Well, go to your funeral and reverse engineer back to today and say, okay, here's how I want those next 20 years to look, 25, 30, depending on your age. I think that's the best, that's the best way to look at it. There's one thing you're going to get 100% right, and that's dying. Right. It's just the truth. It's the one thing you'll get 100% right. It will happen. And, you know, just don't let it bother you, and, you know where you're going, know what you're doing. Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen. So get comfortable with it, move on. As you know, it's not something you want to think about every day, but think about it, get comfortable with it, folks. 336-586-5861. Your retirement's not just your money. It's the big picture. It's getting the big picture right.
Yeah.
So that you can live the lifestyle you want in retirement, having that surplus income, having that plan already built, having things taken care of so you don't leave burdens to your family. That's what it's really all about. Right here at Gaiser Financial, we will go over that with you in detail to help you have the retirement you want. 336-586-5861.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit geiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.